Hey guys, it's TNA Wrestling here, and this is by far my most in-demand video ever. I can't thank you enough for the support on part 1. I really wasn't expecting it. It's so cool to know the TNA community is still going strong. So I'm here, and we are back. So welcome to part 2 of my series looking at TNA and figuring out how it all came crashing down. If you haven't seen part 1, I would highly recommend watching it before watching this video. I'll leave a link in the description. But if you don't want to watch it, basically just a quick recap. In the first part we talked about TNA's failed attempt at a Monday Night War and Hogan and Bischoff in TNA, and today we talk about something that tainted TNA forever, and at the end of this video make an announcement for a brand new TNA based series that will begin once this 4-part documentary is done. That's right, by the way, we're doing 4 parts now. So for updates on when the next parts are out, subscribe notifications on, and follow my Twitter at TNA Wrestling. Let's get right into this. Where we last left off, TNA had just failed to start their own Monday Night War with WWE. They attempted to compete with Raw on Mondays, but only lasted 3 months, and they lost every single time. Even though they never got near to competing with them, it was actually possible, and this is mainly in part because of the network that TNA Impact aired on, that being Spike TV. Spike TV was a popular and well-known TV network that airs the likes of Cops, my favourite show to watch on there, and for 5 years actually was the home of Monday Night Raw. When Raw would return to the USA Network in 2005, Spike TV would bring wrestling back to the network by acquiring TNA. With TNA Impact premiering on October 1st, 2005. The show originally debuted on Saturday, would move to Thursdays in April of the following year, which is the day Impact is most closely associated with. And not Mondays. It's definitely not closely associated with Mondays. After Impact moved back to Thursdays following the failed Monday Night War, business for TNA kind of just continued as normal, and despite their mistakes and awful pieces of television, TNA was still managed to pull in a decent and consistent viewership. It can't be overstated enough just how loyal TNA's fan base truly was. TNA was still pulling in numbers in the likes of 1 million to 1.4 million. For the next few years, more BS would take place in TNA, but once again, TNA's loyal fan base still stuck around. We saw the Jeff Hardy and Sting incident, Aces and Eights, Claire Lynch, etc., and it still didn't stop TNA's fan base from leaving. But something happened that made TNA lose a lot of their fan base. And the fact is, it wasn't something that made them not want to watch. It was something that would prevent them from watching TNA Impact. In 2014, it was reported by TMZ that Spike TV would not be renewing TNA's contract for Impact to air on Spike. And to many, including myself, this was a puzzling decision from Spike because, despite TNA's awfulness and mistakes, they still drew viewers. And why would Spike want to drop a show that's drawing in 1 million to 1.4 million viewers for their network? I mean, it's clearly making the money, and it's just confusing why they'd want to do that. However, reports came out from the Wrestling Observer newsletter that Spike executives dropped TNA Impact from the network because they didn't have faith in TNA's leadership to grow the company. And it's also said that the Vince Russo situation played a part in Spike dropping the show. And you're probably wondering, what's the Vince Russo situation? Well, sit back, I'm about to explain it to you. It's crazy. As I mentioned in the last video, Vince Russo was working with TNA as a creative team member, but he would actually leave the company in February 2012. However, again, in April 2014, PW Insider started reporting that Vince Russo had secretly been hired back by the company. Vince Russo denied the reports initially, but the reports would soon be confirmed as true. Dave Meltzer reported that the reason his hiring was kept in the dark and kept a secret is because Spike TV reportedly hated Vince Russo, and TNA wanted Vince to work with them. But if Spike hates Vince Russo, they have to keep it a secret from Spike, and that's exactly what they did, which is absolutely mental. Vince Russo would release an official statement on his website claiming that TNA Executive Vice President John Gabarick told Vince that Spike was aware of his rehiring, but this clearly wasn't the case, and Vince is either lying or was lied to. On July 30th, 2014, Russo claimed that he was officially done with TNA, and shortly after, here's a crazy detail, he revealed he'd been working there since October 2013, which means he was working there for 6 months in secret before PW Insider reported it and found out, which is just so ludicrous. My god. So yeah, that was the Vince Russo debacle, and you have to believe that that also played a part into why Spike dropped TNA and lost trust in the leadership, because how can they trust a company that hired someone back that they hate in secret? How can they trust them? On November 19th, 2014, it was announced that TNA had reached an agreement with Discovery Communications and that TNA Impact would begin airing on Destination America in January and would air on Fridays. The problem is that this deal didn't last long, and Destination America seemingly had no faith in TNA, and let me give some proof they had absolutely no faith in TNA. First of all, Destination America premiered 2 TNA spin-off shows along with Impact called Impact Wrestling Unlocked and TNA's Greatest Matches, with both of them premiering the same month as Impact in January of 2015, but both these shows were subsequently cancelled in May and were very short-lived at only 4 months, but hey, still longer than the fake Monday Night War, right? Point number 2. They had little faith in TNA to the point where they signed Ring of Honor to a TV deal to air before Impact when Impact was moved to Wednesdays. So literally Ring of Honor airing the same day before Impact. The TNA deal with Destination America ended on December 16th, 2015. And it was announced that TNA would air on Pop TV starting January 5th, 2016. See, the problem with all of these moves to different networks is the fact that TNA actually has a very large casual fan base. You look at a company like AEW, it's mainly just a hardcore fan base, but the reason why TNA got a lot of viewers is because they had a casual fan base, mainly thanks in part to having a lot of former WWE talent, wrestling legends, mainly because of that. Like, the fact that I knew what TNA was when I was 10 kind of gives you the full picture. And it's because of these different network moves that these casual fans probably weren't aware that TNA had changed networks and probably just saw that Spike wasn't airing it anymore and was confused by it. And as well as that, with each move, what's going to happen with these moves is TNA, their presentation is going to change to fit this new network, and fans probably got bored of these presentation changes and the whole aesthetic of the show being shifted 3 times in 3 years. TNA would remain on Pop TV until 2019 when it was picked up by the Pursuit channel, which did nothing for them. Pursuit channel's a hunting channel, and they were on that channel. They're now on Access TV, which is a big TV deal for them, so that's very good. But we're fast forwarding a bit. Let's go back to 2017, because on July 2nd, 2017, Impact would go through yet another major rebrand. And that will be the subject of the next episode, when TNA renamed and rebranded to Global Force Wrestling. Next part, guys. Not now, next video, okay? See you then. But before our outro, it's time to announce this brand new TNA based series that will be beginning after this series ends. There's 4-part series that I'm doing, which you guys seem to be really enjoying. So because there are so many awful, funny, ridiculous, and ludicrous TNA moments, I don't have enough time to cover them in just these 4 parts. So I'm going to start a whole new series where I cover each of them one by one in their own separate videos, and I have so many different videos listed and so many things and ideas that I can do, because this can provide years of content, because there's so many bad moments. At the end of episode 4, there will be a poll where you guys can vote for the first episode, what you want it to be centered around. I'm so excited for this new series. It's going to be something really cool, something different to anything I've ever done, and I want to make it as entertaining, as funny, and as interesting as possible. I'm really excited to begin it, and it's going to be cool. And who knew that TNA, a dead company, is what's kind of reviving my channel at the moment, which I just want to talk about that really quickly. That's something I need to discuss. That part 1 was the first video of mine to hit 100k views since 2017. My channel died in 2017 because I took a break after YouTube just kind of wasn't doing it for me. And since then, I've tried so hard to get it back on track, and it seems like these videos are helping with it. I don't know if it'll do it ultimately, but I'm hoping this videos, this 4-part series and the upcoming series will help to do that, because seemingly the TNA fan base is still going strong. But yeah guys, thank you so much for the support in the last video, and thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy, smack that like button, follow me on Twitter, which is @TopsToWrestling. I'll be posting updates on these documentaries. Make sure you subscribe, post notifications on, so you know when the next episode of this is coming out. And just have a good day, you're a great person, long live TNA Wrestling, and yeah, I'll see you all soon. Leave a like, follow me on Instagram @I'mTomBell. Goodbye, and keep on rolling.